In this video, we talk about a tricky subject, learning in lockdown. What are the advantages and disadvantages about learning to dance during a pandemic? What's up, gang? It's Brian B.
And Miss Megan.
And this topic is completely off the cuff, unscripted. It actually came up, we had a fellow dance professional that came down and shot some videos here at the studio. Megan was in charge of that project, and she came up with this, she saw this topic that he was sharing with his audience, and so we thought it was very relevant and a good Frustration Friday topic for us.
Yes, so the different styles of learning. So most individuals are very visual learners. What that means is you learn by seeing something happening.
Great for video. Great for you guys watching
video. Perfect for videoing. The other two types of learning are auditory and kinesthetic.
So if you're auditory, just look away from the camera.
And listen.
And listen.
Listen to where they're telling you to put your foot or your arm or whatever else.
However,
if you are a kinesthetic learner, that means you learn by doing, by being put into positions or, molded where people want you to go, which is extremely hard when you're watching a video.
Yeah, so Megan said, what do those people do? And I said, I have no idea, and we're gonna figure it out on camera. So let's go. But that is true, and I would say, if you were to give a percentage breakdown, I'll let you think about your percentage breakdown. But for me, there's not a lot of the kinesthetic learners, right? But there might be. It depends on how you want to break down kinesthetic. I definitely can think of some students that I've taught right here that very much respond to push-pull, and they respond really well to like physically moving their feet and setting their body, and they understand and learn that way. There are some that are a little bit of a feel-oriented, like I think me as a partner dancer, I'm definitely a feel-oriented, like I like to work through things until I develop a feel, but I really do learn visually, right? So my coaches used to tell me all this mumbo-jumbo, and I enjoy that stuff, but they would go, oh, I forgot, like you're really just gonna move like this, and I could track and see which parts of their body were moving and mimic it. So I would say the majority of people are that way, but for me it's about 10 to 20% of people that are really kinesthetic in the way that they have to be pushed and pulled.
Yeah, well, I think everybody has a little bit of all types of learning in them.
For sure.
Sometimes if visual learning is not working, I sometimes take a person and say, hey, just feel this instead. And they go, oh, but normally they would get it by looking at it most of the time. So like I said, I think, you learn a little bit from all types of learning, but as far as being dominant in one, kinesthetic learners are definitely probably the lesser of.
For sure, the smallest group.
Yeah,
I would say.
I would say the majority of people are visual, and then auditory, and then kinesthetic.
And we're going to come back to like we're going to try to figure out what you can do if you're a kinesthetic learner, how to get the most out of the other two.
Ideas.
Oh, good. I'm glad you have ideas because I have no idea. But what I will say on a lot of this information, things that you're going to learn, there's like what I call like a distillation process, which means, and I've seen this with myself and with lots of other students, even the ones that are type A and they're learning and they're practicing the most and they're recording everything and they're writing everything down, and they're at the end of what they can just physically manage to do. And sometimes we think that that's the best way to be, and there is an advantage to that. However, I've seen people that literally just shut off for maybe they have an injury, or usually an injury or something that causes them to not be able to do everything that they used to do. That's all of us, right? We're not able to social dance the same way. We're not able to go to the same classes. We're missing that. But there is a distillation process where sitting and being with the information. Share a funny story with me with jiu-jitsu. I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu for several years, and I had all sorts of injuries. And so I broke my arm, and I was out for a long time. I couldn't train, arms broken. And so I actually imagined in my brain a lot of different moves and things that I wanted to do when I came back. And literally my first time on the mats when I came back, I was able to hit moves nothing but just literally books and some videos. Originally it was books and then it was in videos. But just being with that information in my head, rather than I would have been at the gym trying it, but I wouldn't have just sat with it. So there is an advantage, but what can the kinesthetic learners do?
Well, that kind of is one of the things you can probably do. It is technically visual, but if you can, in your brain, walk through where you feel your body needs to go. I mean, thinking of it as visually putting your body where you need it to go. That might help a little bit. Another thing is, if you're not alone in quarantine or COVID and you have somebody around you, most likely they're not also a kinesthetic learner. Odds are.
Chances are not.
So you might have them learn with you, and they might be able to tell you or put you where you need to go.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. If you were like a couple learning to dance, and one of the projects, you don't even know this yet, is a newbie dancer project, not even for West Coast Swing, but just generally speaking. And so if two newer people were learning, let's say I'm a visual person, right? And I can look at a video and understand, I could, if I had good chemistry with a person, I'm not one of those weird bossy people, I could say, oh, no, it's your right foot forward, right? I might be able to actually start to give you some information. So if you're learning with someone, you can bounce back and use the skills that they have. But I would for sure kind of go your way, where I have to pick up on the visual part. If you can learn via video, and pre-lockdown, there was a lot of video haters, right? People who thought, oh, you can't learn very effectively from video. Well, that's all we have now. And even those people who were kind of video haters, you know what we all did, even if we're video haters, at the end of the lesson, we'd video the lesson. Why? Somehow we thought that, that was a good idea. And then what did we do with those videos? Nothing. A lot of us didn't. A lot of you guys did. I know some of you guys did, but a lot of us didn't. We lived and died by the videos from our coaches. But video does have a great place. And in this, because you can go at your own speed. You can rewind and fast forward. Now, in the whole learning process, you have to get to a place of like unconscious competence, right? Where unconscious competence, like you're not thinking, when you drive a car, you're not processing everything you're doing. You're not going, use the brake now at 60 feet from stop sign. It's just unconscious, right? You're competent at driving and it's become unconscious. If I say, Megan, do a whip, she doesn't intellectually think about all of the steps of a whip. She just does a whip.
I might if I was an engineer.
Yeah, but at some point, even the engineers, at some point, the dance becomes free-flowing. Any activity does. But we all have to fight through it in the beginning. We all had to fight through the awkwardness of it. So even though it's not the ideal situation, you still have great resources like these videos to methodically work through. Find someone you find entertaining. If you find this entertaining, great. If you made it this far, probably do. If not, find someone that's entertaining enough so that it doesn't feel like drudgery. Try to pick a goal and then work through that goal and develop your unconscious competence.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say is finding examples, I guess. I use, while I teach, I use train tracks as a visual aid. I use, trying to think of something else I use, like how to feel your lats coming down. Feel like someone's pulling them down.
Developing some kinesthetic awareness.
Like somebody was actually squeezing your lats down. Like something, find a example of how it might make you feel, and that might make it a little easier as well.
Yeah, we did when I used to teach body rolls back in the day when that was the thing, right? We would work through little pieces so you could learn how to use just a little muscle, because when people see the whole thing work together, it looks like this big mess. But you could literally learn to just move one joint at a time, and then how does the next joint? You have to develop that kinesthetic awareness. Now, it might be nice for someone to do this for you, but ultimately you have to fire that, and then ultimately you have to fire all of those in a way to make it look.
You can also move yourself.
You can move that's odd. That's super odd. And on that note, this is our Frustration Friday video. If you watch this far, thank you so much for going through this craziness. Hopefully you found a couple of helpful things. We wish you the best in the lockdown. We have the highest hopes for the future of dancing. We're doing our darndest to support everyone. If there's anything else we can do for you, please let us know. The biggest thing you can do for us is to share the love of the channel. Share your favorite videos with your friends, post them on Facebook, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you don't get our emails, you definitely should, because we've actually communicated we have some cool communication via email that can go both ways. We even sent off some personal videos to people, at least I did this week. So the email communication, so if you're not on our email list, that's the best way to do it, because that lets us interact at a little bit of a deeper level. And on that note, thank you, Miss Megan. Thank you, JT. We'll see you on the dance floor again soon.